In the last video I separated the carbs, so now I've got 4 individual carbs which I'm going to put away, 3 of them, and we're going to start dismantling them. Let me zoom in a little bit. There we go. So we'll start by taking the top cover off. Lift it straight up, and there's the diaphragm. So take the spring out and the carrier, there's a little spring carrier on the end there, or seat, whatever you want to call it, for the needle, and then we're just going to gently, come off straight away, gently pull the diaphragm out, see what we've got. And the good news is it seems nice and flexible, it's not dried out or gone brittle or anything like that. I can't see any obvious tears or splits in it, so that's good. Right. Now I've got the needle, take the needle out. There's no screws in there on this one. Sometimes these are screwed in. You might have to take a screw out or 2 screws out before you can get the needle out, but these aren't, they just sit in there. And oh, yeah. Stop needle on these, I'm pretty sure doesn't come with any adjustment. So that isn't a stock needle. Could be a Dynajet needle. I'm not sure. Don't know. It's got some varnish and stuff on it, so we'll get that cleaned up later. And it's got 2 very tiny washers. Very, very thin washers which was sat on top of the needle, which is usual in a Dynajet kit, to be honest. You get these very thin washers. Anyway, we'll look into that later when I've cleaned things up a little bit. And that's the slide. A bit dirty, but it doesn't look like it's worn at all really. I'm going to give it a clean up, so we'll find out later. Okay, so now we've got a flat base to stand it on. We'll start taking the float bowl off. We'll just see what we've got in here. Whether it's clean enough just for a quick clean, or whether we're going to have to do a bit more to it. Right. And that, well, you can see in there, it's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. It's got in the jet. Well, you can see it. Can't even see the jet really. It's encrusted on the end. So that is pretty bad. I'm not even sure whether it's corroded too much to even think about reusing. We'll clean it off in a bit, see, but let me just get a bit of paper. Here we go. Look at this. You can see in there, it's a bit dark. But full of it looks almost like sugar, which makes me think it's ethanol. Now the thing that surprised me about this is I know that this bike, I don't think the carbs were drained when it was laid up, but I know it didn't have even have a fuel tank on it, so it was only what fuel was left in the float bowls when it was laid up, and it was a running bike when it was laid up. So this is no, I don't know really. I've never seen anything quite this bad. On a running bike at least. So anyway, get rid of that. Let's have a look at this. Can't see anything. Right, I think I've got everything I need. Got a little punch which will push that pin out. Got a flat bladed screwdriver which will hopefully do the jet. And I've got something to, it's just a toothpick really, just to pick at things without doing any damage in case I need to. Got a pair of pliers to pull the pin out. And I've got a cup of tea, good strong builder's tea, 2 sugars in it, to keep me going. So here we go. First thing I'm going to do, now you can see it, there's a little pin that holds the float in, which needs pushing out. You can see the other side of it. No, it's a bit too dark, but there's a little pin. And I don't, sometimes they've got a small end and a large end, and obviously you have to push it from the small end, but I can't really tell on this, they both look the same. So we'll see if it pushes out first. If not, I might have to do some light tapping at this, but we'll see if it pushes. This. Oh, yeah, it's gone. You've got to be very careful you don't break these posts off when you're doing this, but that pushed out fairly easily. We'll just get the pliers and pull the pin out. There we go. And then we'll lift the float. No, we won't. Yeah, I've got a little problem there, the needle's stuck. It won't lift. Normally you just lift it up and the needle comes out with it. But it won't move. So, let's see if we can just unhook it without doing any damage. So I can see the needle. There's your float. So normally the needle would come out with it. Just hooks onto that little tab. That little metal tab in there. But obviously it hasn't, because it's stuck, corroded in there, so we're going to have to have a look at that one in a minute. But first, we'll try and get this main jet out. So let's have a little pick at it, so we can see what we're looking at. And there's a slot in the top. So, flat bladed screwdriver. Find one that's as tight fit as you can. That's pretty much spot on, to be fair. Let's just turn it. No. Don't like this, it's not moving. There we go. I'm trying to see if there's any writing on it, but it looks, I can't remember whether Dynojet kits have anything stamped on them, I can't remember, but I can't see anything on there on any part of the jet, but I do know that Dynojet kits, this sort of head of the jet tends to be taller like this on a Dynojet kit than they do on a standard needle, and that standard jet is probably about just over half the thickness of that. So I'm pretty sure now we've got a Dynojet kit in these carbs, but I won't, unless there's any writing on there, I won't know for sure. And I can see through to the needle jet. I don't know whether it will show up on the camera. You can see there. That isn't blocked, amazingly. But we have got to get it out. Doesn't look like it's been attacked too much, so we'll have a go at that. I need a spanner. I forgot my spanner. Okay, I've got my 8mm spanner. It is 8mm, isn't it? Yeah, 8mm spanner. Let's see if it'll undo. It's moving. Be careful. Sometimes they'll snap off. I'm surprised that came out as easy as it did. And that's the emulsion tube. And although we can see through the actual jet itself, I'll get it lined up. It isn't blocked. There should be little holes there, and they are completely blocked as far as I can see. Oh yeah, there's one. They're not completely blocked, but they're not very good. I can go in there. Alright, there should be down in there actual needle jet. Doesn't want to drop out, so if you can see the down there, you can see in there, you can just see the top of it. So all I'm going to do is push it down with my finger. Oh, it popped. It was stuck, but it did pop through. I'm being gentle, I'm not whacking it on the table, I'm being, before anybody says anything, I'm being gentle. I don't want to come out there. I can just poke it with this a little bit, just gently. There we go. There it is. And take note of these things when you're taking them apart, that if you haven't got a service manual or anything like that, just take note of things as you take them apart. But you can see that's got a narrow end this end, a thicker end that end, and the narrow end goes in first, it drops in first, so you put the narrow end down. I'm still concerned about this being stuck. Don't know what to do about that yet. I don't want to damage it trying to get it out. And will my screwdriver fit down there? No. Right, I've got my screwdriver, flat bladed screwdriver, quite a thick one. It should hopefully fit in there. See if we can get the pilot jet out. And it doesn't seem to be. I can't find the slot in the screw. Oh. That's why. That is the end of the pilot jet. So I knew somebody had been into these cars before, but they've made a right mess. That's the end of the pilot jet. Snapped off, look. So that means that somewhere in there is the rest of it, which it is. So we're going to have some fun getting that one out. Right, that, I don't know what I'm going to do about the float valve at the minute. We'll take the pilot screw out. Now with the pilot screw, first you need to screw it in basically and count how many screw turns it is in, so you can put it back in the same place later. So put my screwdriver in, half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2 1/4, 2 1/4. It's about right. It's normally between 2 1/4 and 2 1/2 for stock, so 2 1/4. Write that down so you don't forget when you're putting it back together. That's the pilot jet, pilot screw needle. Very fine. Careful you don't bend it or damage it, because it is very, very fine at the end there, look. So be gentle with that one. It actually looks okay. I don't know what I'm going to do about the pilot jet at the moment. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about this with it being stuck. I'll get a bit of a trusty WD. I'll just have a gentle wiggle with my fingers, just see if it's just no. Let's take the spring off. Just unclips off, look, the little spring. And see if we can see what we're doing here. The little springy bits stuck as well on on the top. I think that's going to be a new needle, but we'll see. Just give it a gentle wiggle. Oh no, it's coming out. Yeah. Yeah, there's no tip on it. Well, put that in the box. Have a look in there. See if I can see it. No. This is going to be a new needle and a new seat. Oh, there's the tip, look. It has come out. That should have been on the end. On the end of that little valve. So can't see what's in there, just scrape it out a little bit. Yeah, it's just full of crap, basically. So we've got half a pilot jet left in there. Oh, where's the spring? I wonder where that had gone. There's the washer. I think I can see through. Can't actually see it from this side. It's in there, but I can see through. And the O-ring's knackered, so that can go. Right, we're not doing very well here. And the butterfly is still solid, won't move. And the choke plunger won't move. So let's pop this off, see if I can just get some pliers on it, save me looking for a spanner. Yeah, there we go. It's still sticking, won't come out. Trying not to damage the end. Ah, there we go. Trying not to do too much damage to this end, but and that's the choke plunger. It's not too bad in there. Give it a clean up. Just not sure about this seat. Can't see anything. Right, so apart from the pilot jet, or half a pilot jet, I've taken off what I'm going to take off for now. I want to take this butterfly out, but it is sea solid. So I think we'll give it a clean first. see where we get from there. Yep, just give it a clean. Give everything a good clean up and we'll see where we go from there.